back to a First Chapter Friday. You're with Miss O'Kaylee here, and we're going to talk about a book called Granted by John David Anderson. It's all about the magical world with fairies and elves and trolls and all that kind of thing. And this part of this community is in charge of granting wishes when we make them. So like if we wish on our birthday cakes or something like that. And it's the story of one of the granters, of the wish granters, which I think is pretty interesting. So I'm going to read you the prologue and the first chapter because they're short and there's both of them, and you decide, does it sound like something you want to read the rest of? And if you do, let me know. Tell me how it goes. All right, prologue. The last time you blew out your birthday candles, what'd you wish for? Did you blow them all out on the first breath? It doesn't count otherwise. Also, do not let your brother or sister help you. At best, they will waste your wish. At worst, they'll steal it for themselves. Same for dandelions. The one breath rule, or else the wish won't fly. It's harder than you think getting all those seeds off in one huff. Harder than candles on a cake. If you can't manage it though, don't worry. There are a dozen more ways to make a wish. It really is hard to do that with a dandelion. A quarter flipped into a fountain, a penny dropped down a well. Some might tell you that bigger coins make stronger wishes, but that's simply not true. A silver dollar or even a gold doubloon doesn't increase the chances you'll get what you want. Your dollar is better spent on gumball or ice cream. Use a nickel instead. Wishes aren't for sale to the highest bidder. The shooting star, or maybe just an airplane passing overhead, it's hard to tell. What was that wish for? You needn't wait for one to streak by. The truth is, any star will do, so long as it's the first one you spot. Just don't sing the song, you know the one. It grates on the nerves after a while. Maybe you keep a wishing stone in your jacket pocket, rubbed smooth by time and worry, the circle of your thumb going round and round as you shut your eyes and hope. Don't. You're better off skipping that stone across a lake. Wishes are temporary things. You can't just keep them in your coat and ask for them whenever you please. That would be unfair, and the wish-granting process is nothing if not fair. Wishes are made in moments of wonder and desperation. Wishes are prayers without a salutation and minus an amen. Did you know that you can wish on a horse, but it has to be all white or all black, no patches or spots? A pony will do in a pinch, and contrary to popular opinion, you do not have to see its tail. Or wait until Thanksgiving and dig through the picked clean carcass of that cooked bird to find the bone shaped nothing like a wish, for wishes have no shape except the one you give them, looking more like a pair of tweezers or a U that's trying very hard to become a V. The bigger half is the one that counts, of course, and not fair breaking it all by yourself. Wishing is competitive. There's only so much magic to go around, and less as time goes by, it seems. Feathers yawn and falling leaves, acorns and necklace clasps, four-leaf clovers, yes, they can be wished on, but no, they aren't good luck. Neither are rabbit's feet, at least not for the rabbit. Eyelashes? Yes, but only if they fall out on their own and you happen to catch them on your fingertip. Plucked lashes are instantly disqualified. The first rainbow of spring spotted through the window of your moving car. You point it out and your mother tells you to make a wish on it. Go ahead, but don't keep it to yourself. But do keep it to yourself. Telling ruins it, and it makes Mom feel bad if she knows it will never come true. Though she can't possibly know, not for certain, even the odds are against you. Some wishes do get granted, just not near as many as before. Perhaps you are partly to blame for that, or maybe it's some fault in the system, or maybe that's just how it has to be. The last time you blew your candles, what did you wish for? And did you get it? It's a cool system, huh? Something to think about. All right, chapter 1. The lottery was in less than an hour, and Ophelia still hadn't waxed her wings. Her hair, as cobalt blue as the flowers she was born from, and just as delicate and fine, was brushed, of course, her bangs pinned back, her uniform pressed, buttons polished, collar cinched so tight it was hard to swallow. Her boots showed little sign of wear, all the scruffs carefully buffed away, but her wings she simply hadn't gotten to yet. Probably not an issue. There were no long-distance flights in her future after all, but if anything could be said of Ophelia Delphinium Fidgets, it would be that she was always prepared, that she worried over every minor detail. Some fairies called her fussy. She preferred the word meticulous. When she was born, pulled from the dense cluster of dew-dropped flowers in Mrs. Haversack's back garden, she looked at her founder and immediately brushed the pollen grains off his shoulder. They bothered her, sitting there, impertinent and messy. Tidy, that's how she liked things. At the age of nearly nothing, she was all about the particulars. Nothing out of place for this fairy. Never. That's how she'd risen in the ranks so quickly, the youngest ever to graduate from the academy, top marks, a certified field agent at the age of 4. A grantor, which is why it was a little bothersome to her that she wasn't ready for work. Normally she would be sitting in her chair by now on her third bowl of honeyed oats, staring at the clock, waiting for Charlie to pick her up so they could commute to work. Not that she needed the company. He was the one who insisted. Ophelia's cottage in the treetops was on his way. Ophelia didn't mind being alone, at least most days. Grantors almost always flew solo. Sometimes it's best if you have to count only on yourself, even if it means you will have only yourself to blame. She reached into her cabinet and pulled out her jar of liquid beeswax and the bit of cotton she used to spread it, cautious not to get the stuff on her fingers. It was nearly impossible to wash off completely and made your skin slicker than snot. For the rest of the morning she would fumble at door handles and have things slip out of her hands if she wasn't careful. On wings, though, it did wonders, especially if you were traveling in bad weather. Not that she would know. It had been nearly a year since she'd graduated, and in that time she'd made only brief forays outside the haven. Training exercises mostly, some cleanup detail, but no actual missions. Not the things she had trained for. Ophelia Delphinium Fidgets was a grantor, yes, but she still hadn't made her first wish come true. So get the book Granted by John David Anderson and see what happens when she gets to grant her first wish. It's a pretty cute story. I really enjoyed it. I hope you read it and liked it too.